What's up, guys? Welcome to Let's Play Quake 3! So, finally moving on from Quake 2 to 3. Back in the day, to give you guys a little bit of history lesson if you weren't playing FPS games in the 90s, this was the time when id Software finally decided multiplayer is the way to go and basically set the standard yet again for FPS games, and that was the pattern to follow for years to come, and it's still a pattern to this day. So in the transition from Quake 2 to 3, we lost the epic campaign and it focused completely on multiplayer. I'm going to change my controls so our aiming is not completely stupid. We're going to go with the advanced control scheme. So Quake 3, which was originally titled Quake 3 Arena on the PC, has many different versions of it. It has Quake 3 Arena for the PC, obviously. Quake Live, which is an updated version of Quake 3 Arena on the PC, Quake 3 Team Arena, which is an expansion pack for the PC version that has different game types and maps, also some new weapons. There is Quake Arena for the Dreamcast. There's Quake Arena Arcade for the Xbox Live Arcade, and now there's also this Quake 3 Revolution for the PS2, which sadly predates online access for the PS2, so unfortunately the only multiplayer is on split screen or against bots. But it is actually a really nice version of Quake Arena. I'm going to be going through the campaign here because it's a very different campaign than the Quake Arena Arcade version, and I will be showing that version soon enough as well, but I will not be showing off the Dreamcast or the PC versions. So basically, this engine is very important to FPS history because this is the engine that basically put multiplayer on the map. Like, multiplayer games would not have been the same without this game's engine. Like, this is what fed Return to Castle Wolfenstein. This is what fed technically the Quake 2 engine is what fed Counter-Strike, and which was inevitably fed from Half-Life, which was fed from Quake 2. Anyway. And this engine also was the basis for the original Call of Duty engine, believe it or not, although that one was heavily modified compared to the Return to Castle Wolfenstein version, which is essentially this exact same thing. Now, the reason I want to show off a little bit more of this campaign than I do the Arena Arcade version is the Arena Arcade version is more of a direct port of the PC version's campaign, but with enhanced graphics and some new interfacing. This version, on the other hand, is a much more different game and has some new things here and there, but because it's the PS2, which lacks the technology of the Xbox 360, it does not have as cool sound effects or graphics or anything like that, although our weapons and our field of view is a little bit better, so we can actually see what we're doing. But the best thing about this version compared to the 360 version, now I probably will make a video comparison between the two before starting too heavily on the arcade version. But the nicest thing about this one is, being that it's on the PS2, and it actually has aim assist, which means we can actually hit something in this version compared to in the arcade version. So the arcade version is a little bit more hardcore because it's a bit harder to hit things, which means this makes this version a lot more easy. So I'm playing on the second hardest difficulty, of course. And we can choose different characters, obviously. I chose the Doom Marine, because why would we not want to play as the Doom Marine? And I'm just sort of going through these levels fighting the bots. This is a level where you actually get to fight multiple bots. The previous one was sort of a play keep away with a flag sort of thing, sort of like Oddball except with a flag. And I like this map though. The only problem is the rocket launcher is on the opposite side of the power-ups, which means you either have one or the other, which makes sense for balancing, but does not make sense if you are looking at the map trying to think it's symmetrical when it's clearly not. Anyway, these maps are pretty much the same from version to version, although there are some maps that are not in this version. But the keep away with the flag map that we just played in the last battle is a battle that is not in the arcade version. Also, this right here, this power-up, that apparently can't get to because the thing isn't open yet, is the double damage. The double damage is also not in the arcade version, but the quad damage is. The haste is still on this map in the arcade version, but more on that when it's more relevant. The other interesting thing about the campaign in this game, because the campaign has a little bit more focus in this version than on all the other versions. Well, I say all the other versions. I haven't played the Dreamcast version, so I really don't know for sure. But this version has, because you can select your character and everything, they decided whenever you go up in tiers, your character develops certain stats. So the Doom Marine is actually a little bit slower than the other character I chose. The other character I played as was Sarge. In my first test play of this, and I haven't actually completed this whole recording all the way through, so this LP will probably end abruptly before I get too far, but I figured it would be a nice little side project. And I do intend to record the entire campaign eventually, though, as well as the entire campaign of Quake Wars as well. And I'm also thinking about doing Return to Castle Wolfenstein, although I haven't beaten that game yet. But yeah, I just love this game's multiplayer. It's one of the most fast-paced, you know, edgy, hardcore, easy to get into multiplayers that there ever was, and I still say it's one of the best multiplayer games even to this day. And the fact that you can play it split screen with your friends, if you didn't have internet access back in the day, is a nice touch. Although had this game come out in another 2 years, it might have had better graphics, some better sound effects, and online compatibility, although it wouldn't have been as good as had they had it on the Xbox, of course. And by the way, I suppose I should go ahead and make this shout out right now. If anybody wants to play Quake Arena Arcade with me, leave a comment. I will send you my gamer tag and we can play together, because I really want to play with that game with people online. Because there's only a handful of people that play it. I thought it would be a lot more popular than it is, considering this is one of the most popular multiplayer games of all time. But there really isn't. I'm having a hard time finding matches in Arena Arcade, but that one has a good campaign as well, and I'll probably mention that again in the Arcade LP. Not to get too ahead of myself here. But this version also has, I believe, all the Team Arena upgrades as well. And so it'll have stuff like the chain gun and the proxy launcher and the Team Arena game types. So this was like 2001 when this version was released, when the original arcade version was released, not the arcade version, original PC version of Arena was released in 1999, I believe, so, or 2000, rather. I'm not sure which one it was. I think it was 99. There's no Quake 2 was 97. So yeah, this is what made Quake the multiplayer titan that it is today. I assume Quake Live still has quite a few people that play it, since it's a relatively recent game. It's just a rehash, you know, free online service version of Quake Arena. So yeah, but this might get a little bit too easy at times. I might decide to step up the difficulty later on. Depends on how I feel about it, because we are just annihilating these guys with the aim assist and the rocket launcher. Rocket launcher is the weapon to beat in this game. It may have slightly slower projectiles, but it deals definitely the most damage. But it's not like a superpower weapon like it is in other games, where it should be kept away from all players at all times. But the other professional weapons are the lightning gun and the rail gun. The lightning gun is for hitting a continuous stream of damage at long range. I've already described what it does in my Quake 4 LP. But the lightning gun took a coffee break from Quake 2 and was not in Quake 2. But we still have the railgun introduced in Quake 2, and it comes back with a vengeance in this game. And we'll show that off more as we acquire it throughout these missions. It's not in this level, I don't believe. But the rest of the weapons are kind of, use them if you feel like it, but they're not like essential weapons you have to be to have a competitive one-on-one fight. Now, I will also say I'm not an expert at this game by far, because I haven't really played this version a whole lot, and I'm definitely not as good as at the arcade version, because the arcade version is really finicky to control without the aim assist, and I'm definitely not an expert as far as the PC version goes, because I really can't play it, to be honest. So, but I would probably play it to death if I could. But the ability to have a keyboard and mouse and be able to strafe jump makes that version a lot more aesthetically pleasing to look at, and you can probably become a lot better at this version than you ever could be, or that version than you ever could be at this version.
One frag left.
I still say all console versions of Quake Arena are still good games, though. They didn't suffer quite as bad as the PS2 version, the PS1 version rather, of Quake 2. Die, hurry up and die.
You win.
Oh, he lasted long enough.